producer in the history of time. So I think he's working on it. We'll get to it in a second.
Okay.
Because I can see it in our preview screen.
Yeah.
But he's still working on getting it up on the screen. So whenever you want to throw it up there, producer man, you can. In the meantime, the super stickers continue to come. This one from Tyler. He says, with WWE acquiring AAA and working with other companies, why release talent with name recognition when you can send them to these other companies and continue to make merchandise money off of their IP? I will say this, the AAA is about a Mexican style of wrestling. You're not sending Braun Strowman to AAA at least I don't think so, Vince. Am I wrong?
No, but that's something very, very, very interesting, Coach, and I'm glad Tyler brought that up because I wasn't even thinking about this. You know, Coach, there were a lot of people belly aching over Randy Orton at WrestleMania with what was it? Everyday Joe. What was Joe Hendry?
Joe Hendry. Yeah, Joe Hendry.
Well, if there is a working relationship with TNA, then why wasn't Strowman sent to TNA? Why wasn't Dakota Kai sent to TNA? Bro, if you ask me, they weren't sent to TNA because WWE felt that even at TNA, these talents weren't going to go over. That is a very, very, very interesting question. Shayna Baszler and TNA, I'm sure TNA could use Shayna Baszler. I thought they have a working agreement.
They do. They do. In fact, the other day, Joe Hendry wrestled with the Hardy Boys, and what I would do is this. Is instead of just cutting them outright, let's say Shayna Baszler makes, let's use the number, let's say $100,000. Just use the number, okay? And you go to TNA, who you have a working relationship with, and you say, listen, we're going to cut her because we just don't have the ability to use her right now. Would you want her for $40,000 or $45,000? And I'm quite certain there's a lot of talent out there that would rather, it's not even being humble, it's finding a place to work and taking care of your families, for God's sake, is, hey, we're going to cut you, but we've done you a solid, and if you'd like to stay on TV. And what I would do, Vince, is if I'm a talent, I'd have to be honest with myself because I know for certain that when I sit in this chair, there is not a day that goes by that I'm not firing out ideas. I'm not sending emails. I'm trying to do business, and I'm trying to expand as we go. This talent does not do that. They sit around backstage because we've seen it, right? They sit on the cases, and they wait for writers to walk up to them. And then when they get a segment, or a interview or a oh my God, I haven't been on TV in 4 weeks, instead of constantly coming up with ideas, even if they suck. And you could use TNA television to your advantage by doing that. And why TV time is paramount. Wouldn't you do that as a talent?
Well, you know what, Coach? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. We don't know that they didn't do that. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they did that. However, if I'm management of TNA and they didn't do that, and these talents were just let go without possibly thinking about TNA and maybe something could be worked out, then I'm going to start to think that maybe this relationship is a little one-sided. But again, people thinking I'm looking to bury WWE, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, Coach. Maybe they did that. Maybe they did that.
Yeah, we're talking about the business of wrestling. And I think the more shows that we do, the less messages we get like that. Because people who really watch the show and don't look at headlines on dirt sheets realize what this show is truly all about. Good, bad, indifferent. A couple of super stickers, Vince. Why don't you work with Razor Fist?
Look at these hugs.
Oh,
look.
No,
I want you to really get the emotion of these hugs, Coach. Look at the one on the bottom right. Look.
Oh, my gosh.
Coach, this is every scrum. Whenever somebody walks in, this is how they're greeted.
Well, Bryan Danielson the other day said he did an interview, and he put over Tony Khan as literally the nicest human being on planet Earth. He goes, there's not a nicer. And he said, I would rather work for Tony Khan than at any point, basically, in my time at WWE.
But with all due respect, looking at Moxley's face, I'm reading, get the F off of me, Coach. I don't know about you. That's what I'm reading in that photo.
By the way, real quick to kind of put a bow on it, last week they clearly are working together, Vince, because Trick Williams from NXT attacked Joe Hendry from TNA at the end of the show. So they're writing these shows together. So there's no reason in my mind why you couldn't do this.